Hi everyone, welcome back to JST Bless channel. On this channel we'll film about faith, career, education, lifestyle and more. Today I'll be looking at a topic on career, which is mainly how you can start your process of applying to a Big Four firm. Thank you to everyone who watched my previous video. If you haven't seen it already, on how I was able to secure a job even as an immigrant student. Hopefully this will be beneficial to you if you're thinking of trying to get a job after school. So how does it all work? What you need to bear in mind first and foremost is that normally the start for graduate trainee programs is September. So now that I'm filming the video, it's November. Mostly they get all the applications through and everything before September. So I think key dates that you need to bear in mind, especially if you're an international student, is for PwC, I think it's 1st June 2021, Deloitte 10th of May 2021, KPMG 30th of April 2021, and EY 30th April 2021. So this is November. If you've just started school, especially if you're an immigrant student and you've just moved to the UK, this is the time that you need to be thinking about this. Obviously, you don't want to wait till the end before you put in your application. So I thought it would be useful to let people know, how do you even start? Especially if you're an immigrant, how do you even start? I want you to know that I was able to get this, so it is achievable. You will be able to get this. As a student, you will be able to apply and get this before you even finish school. So what you need to bear in mind is you will need to fill in an application form. So how do you fill in this application form? Generally, you need to first and foremost understand what the Big Four firms are. You need to get an understanding of what kind of department you want to go into. So we have like the audit, the tax, consulting, business advisory. Those are the main graduate trainee roles that they have. If you're an international student, unfortunately, it's not all of these opportunities that are available. I know that audit is one of the key ways that you can enter into a Big Four firm. Bear in mind, if you don't have an audit, if you don't have an accounting background, that is not an issue. Insofar as you're going to put in the work, because you will need to sit exams. Insofar as you put in the work, it doesn't matter which discipline you come from. So what do you need to bear in mind? The first process is the application form, and you need to get that right. So also, what you also need to bear in mind is, once you fill in the application form for any of these Big Four firms, if you fail through the process, you will not be able to reapply for at least 3 to 6 months. So especially if you're an international student, you want to take your time before you actually submit. The good thing is you can actually start the application form and then save it and come back to it. So yes, you're back, you are in the UK, you are in school, but this is something that you should think about. So the graduate trainee program, basically you just need to have a degree qualification. So when I did it, I was working towards my master's. I had already received a first degree, but I was working towards my master's. If you can apply for it as an undergrad, that is also fine. So what you need to do is basically bear in mind the application form. In the application form, they're trying to understand what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, so what your experiences are, what skill sets, what your knowledge base is about the Big Four firm or about the role that you're applying for. So you really need to read ahead and know more. You need to go to their websites, understand their businesses, understand the kind of clients, what kind of role that you find yourself in. If you don't know this, you can still research. I might put more videos on this, but you need to research around it. So the application forms normally just go to any of the four big four firms. Normally there'll be like a career, and then you go there, how to join us, or you can apply, look for a job role. Don't quit now. Wait till the end, because I'm going to be sharing some tips on some of the key tips I had that enabled me to be able to secure the job. So what you need to bear in mind for the application form, like your personal details, obviously your secondary, your higher education. Sometimes they will ask for the marks that you got, what your qualifications are. If you've already qualified, that, or if you've gotten any sort of qualifications, you need to put that in. Your employment history, you need to put in some references. Obviously it's optional, equal opportunity, so they might ask just to make sure they are being fair to everybody, and obviously a declaration. So you need to start thinking about how you can build your skill set. You need to be putting together like the forms, basically. You need to be, and then also there's a lot of questions that they ask on these application form, and if your application form is not right, you're not even going to get the job in the first place. You need to make sure it's top notch, it's of good quality, no spelling mistakes, obviously everything is done correctly, so that you'll be able to get on to the next stage, which will normally be like an online aptitude test, numerical, logical, and things like that. So anyway, so I think mainly I've covered the point on the application form. So go to the website, go to careers, how to join us, but bear in mind that once you fail, you will be restricted in going back to apply to this. So you don't want to start it if you're not really ready. You want to download what I did. I'm going to share some of the tips that I did. I sort of filled in some of the forms, like some bits and pieces of the forms, and just to see what it is till the end. And then I had a document, then I wrote out what I thought it was, and then I got somebody who was already actually employed in one of the big four firms that I was applying to. Actually, with all the other big four, when I was applying, I did send him my answers just so that he can look at it, have an overview as to whether the way I've answered the questions is the best way forward. So that's one tip. Put it down your thoughts, and then get somebody to have an overview of it, just to make sure that you've come across well, and you've written the key points that are needed. Also, one other key tip is to apply to bigger offices, especially if you're an international student. You don't really want to go for the small offices because they're going to fill up really quickly. But obviously it's dependent on your choice. Maybe you have family around, so you want to limit yourself to certain places, that's fine. But for me, I would say like London, Birmingham, Manchester, Edinburgh, if you're in Scotland, those offices do take in a lot of graduates for their September intake. So that gives you more opportunity to be able to sort of to be able to get the job, basically. So apply to bigger offices. If you're an international student, audit is a good place to start. It gives you a good grounding and footing as to like the whole accounting. You can actually move to a different department like tax advisory, not so much tax because it's quite specialist in a sense, but yeah, audit, and then you can move to advisory or different parts of the firm. But I know from my experience as a previous Big Four employee, that audit do take in quite a lot of people. So as an international student, you want to consider an audit position that will give you more of an opportunity to enter there. So what I want you to do today is start with any of the Big Four firm, going to register, if possible, copy and paste some of the questions, and then write it up, give it to somebody to look over it. Especially for people that have previously worked with Big Four, it'll be good to get those people engaged and get them to review it. So that's basically the first process that you need to take into consideration. I might be doing another video on the whole assessment center and online test and some tips that you can use. Also, some of the application form questions could be tell me a time that you had competing priorities, how you were able to manage. Just like they just want to understand, they want to get to know you a little bit. So you need to like look at some of and bear in mind, you don't necessarily have had to have worked in an accounting firm or anything like that to be able to get into the Big Four. Whatever experiences, students, leadership positions, anything that you did, you can actually use those to explain how, like, to come across in the application form of what you've done, what kind of experiences, what kind of exposure. Most of these organizations look at team working, quality, efficiency, things like that. Those are some of the qualities that you need to look at. So also go to their website, try and understand a lot of things about the organization, what their different departments are, because that's the first step. You need to get your application form right. So that's the first step that you need to bear in mind. I hope this was useful. Definitely there'll be more videos, so look forward to it. As I always leave you with Nehemiah 8:10b, the joy of the Lord is our strength. Best wishes for all your plans and for Big Four. I pray that if that's your desire, that you be able to end up in the Big Four like I did. Okay, God bless. Have a great week. And looking forward to seeing you next time. Do well to subscribe. Do well to leave some comments. Share the good news. Also, when you like, it means that my YouTube channel gets noticed. The YouTube algorithms make sure that I get noticed. So it'll be good to support me. So I'm looking forward for you sharing, commenting, liking, and turning on the notification button. Okay, that's it for me now. Bye.